Hi subscribers, how are you? Well, this is check-in number 4. I remembered that time. I hope you're well. I hope you're keeping well. Hope you're looking after yourselves. Hope you're not getting up to too much mischief and you're keeping safe. And you are as bright and bushy-tailed as when I last spoke to you. So, lockdown continues. I'm going to try and do another vlog tomorrow after Boris Johnson's announcement. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail about what Boris Johnson's going to announce, because a lot of people think he's going to announce some sort of rollback from the lockdown, or maybe just a little bit extra exercise. But after listening to the press conference today, I was really taken by what Grant Shapps, the Secretary of State for Transport, said, where he was talking about investing something like 2 billion in transportation, cycling and pedestrianised areas, extending cycleways, extending the pavement out for cyclists. And basically, because a lot of people have noticed how clean the air is since the lockdown and how great the environment appears to be compared to what it is normally with the hustle and bustle of modern modernity, they're trying to invest in a greener future. And whilst we're all in lockdown, I think they feel they can push that issue slightly. I think it's good. I mean, I can understand how they're basically going to try and get people to cycle and walk to work, because transport is running. The transport grid is running at minor capacity, and if we lifted the lockdown now, transportation, buses, taxis, trains, tubes, trams wouldn't be able to cope, and so they need to roll it back gently. But they're trying to encourage people not to get to work in a greener way. Now, that's all right if you live locally and you can cycle in the local area, but if you have to commute over 10-20 miles on a wet, windy day, you might not wanting to be getting on your bike. Now, there are ways around that, and Holland has proved that with the bikes they have that protect you from the rain, and you can put shopping in them. But there's also an argument about having showers at work, and not all offices and workplaces have the facilities to have showers for people who may cycle into work. But in the long run, I think it's a good idea. I do think it's a good idea, because the environment is so much better, and I think we need to think of a greener approach to things. And so I kind of hope that due to this lockdown, the things that will change will be for the better, and more people will cycle or walk, and the facilities will be made for them to be able to do that in. I'm hoping that that's something positive that will come out of it. And 2 billion is not a small amount of money to invest in greener transportation, cycling and walking, in the great scheme of things. In the great scheme of things, yeah, no, it's not a small amount of money. £2 billion. It's a lot of money. So yeah, the announcement he made today in the press conference to do with transport in the UK was quite positive. They recognise that in the short to medium term, people are going to still continue to go by car on the whole, but I think they're looking at stemming that slightly. And they did announce that this month or last month's figures showed that more electric cars were sold than petrol or diesel cars. It's hard to tell if that makes a great deal of difference in time of lockdown, but it's all positive, it's all good. So we're getting there. So yeah, the transport announcement was quite interesting, and for friends of mine who do cycle, and for friends of mine who, I mean, I can get a bus pass because of my mental health, and a lot of my friends can get bus passes because of their mental health, but I still try and walk as much as I can, and in the times of lockdown I walk and don't take up public transport. I can get the bus, but because Gateway's closed, council offices are closed, I can't put in my renewal for my new bus pass. So although I could pay the couple of quid it is to get into town and back, I'd rather walk. Safer in time of pandemic, I think. It puts me at less risk when I go shopping, although lugging the shopping back, it can be a mighty pain in the ass. So yeah, the announcement was interesting. So I sort of thought I'd share that with you. Just a little couple of thoughts of mine on that. It's positive. I'm looking forward to see what the developments are. I mean, you take a city like Southampton or Portsmouth, we had trams up until the 50s. And then because diesel and fuel was cheaper back then, they ripped up all the eco-friendly tram lines and went to diesel guzzling buses and created congestion and traffic and pollution and all the rest of it. So that wasn't very clever thinking. But back in the 50s, council planners like at Southampton City Council were all for Americanisation. I mean, Southampton was not a very beautiful city back in the 70s that I remember. It was all concrete, postmodern architecture with a scattering of the original city left. It's a lot better now. It's a lot better now. It's not as ugly as it was back then. But yeah, they ripped up all the tramways. So maybe an integrated transport system, a greener transport system for cycling and walking, and maybe an investment in public transport for those who need public transport, or for longer journeys. Say people can't invest in the bikes that they have in Holland, and it's going to take us time to convert our system of transportation over to a greener cycling, walking centric system. So the car is still going to be king for the short to medium term, but the long term, if this announcement is anything to go by, it's quite positive, and I was happy to hear it. So yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you subscribers. Now, I hope you're well, as I say, and you're looking after yourselves, and I will see you tomorrow, or in the next vlog, when I will try and do one on what Boris Johnson has announced, and it'll be another check-in as well. See how you all are. Okay, bye subscribers.